Alright, what's the deal, peeps? I've been slacking. I'm stuck on TikTok. I gotta just keep on pushing forward, keep on grinding, keep on just trying to get, situated, whatnot. But for the most part, I wanted to address a few things that possibly might be coming in the near future. So you guys already know that the dollar, that the Russia did a deal with China, and that they're gonna make their own currency, and that Russia stopped selling oil for money, that they're only taking gold. So gold went up a lot recently. So I don't know if you're gonna be able to get every dollar you have in the bank back, or if they're gonna or if it's gonna lose interest of like the money, so you're not gonna get everything you have in the bank back. Like if the economy crashes or whatever the f it's called. And like usually I don't talk about these topics, but like it honestly looks that way. Like I'm not just talking about it because, oh yeah, I'm worried about it. You gotta freaking, take cover and buy food and all this shit. Like even when the pandemic hit, I didn't give a shit. Like I was in, at the stores buying water and stuff like that. Like you should just prep anyways, just because eventually shit's gonna hit the fan one day. I don't know when that's gonna be. But I wanted to show you guys a bunch of videos that I found recently, and
Fun mini
um so this is not medical advice. This is just a remedy that helps you to heal. You know what I mean? So if you guys want to read on, um real quick, this is just a little added thing right here.
Do you know what the law of water is? It's called Maritime Admiralty Law. Water is money. That's why they call it currency. That's why they call it cash flow or liquid assets. That's why you liquidate your assets, because water is money. Until you understand this, you're not going to be able to fully comprehend what is actually going on in this world. You are a traded commodity on the global stock exchange. The QSIP number on your birth certificate is a searchable number. You are worth money to the international bank that bought you in the 1930s. In essence, it's not really a stock, but a trust. We are maritime admiralty products, and we are bought and sold on the high seas, operating under maritime admiralty law. All ships are female by law. She delivers the product, and every time that she does so, she pulls into a harbor where they call it her berth. Every item that comes off the ship is counted, and they give it a certificate of manifest. That's why when your mother's water breaks, they give you a certificate of birth. And it's signed by the doctor, because that's where the ship sits, on the dock. And this is why if you get arrested and go to jail, they need to bail you out of jail, because you are a maritime admiralty product. It is the law of water. Guys, if this stuff is interesting to you, don't forget to hit the plus and go and follow me on Rumble. I'm going to be making the switch to that platform entirely, as TikTok doesn't really like my content so much. This is like my 6th account. So I appreciate you staying till the end.
This has been huge for me because I've been remote viewing into 1587 when this map was made for Mano Monte. So before the lands became ice, they used technologies to freeze and create an Antarctic wall. These lands that are directly at the Antarctica walls in these 1400s, say the 1000 millenniums, there have been these rulers. There's actually even images on this map. Interesting enough, some of them look similar to the races that they're right under. We thought that it was perhaps just the English and the Spaniards that spread out and conquered just about all the indigenous places that they could find, specifically North America, South America. These families, basically, 7 9 families that we have heard about, they didn't come from England or Spain, came from these outer lands. The indigenous were conquered by these outside races. This has been...
But they're saying here that this is the population size over time, going all the way back to, they believe way before the Bible says the world was created. But essentially, there's about 1 million people alive across the world for tens of thousands of years, and all of a sudden, somebody invents farming. And that means that extra population can be handled because there's more food. And all of a sudden, the population does that, and we have 7 billion people today. And how come the people with the same genes back here, who were just as smart as people here, they didn't think of planting something in the ground and harvesting it the next year? This is really magic back here.
Right.
Taking that thought, I applied that to a biblical idea where this is the flood. This is today. And starting from those 6 people, all you have to do is double the number of people every 156 years. And you arrive at 7 billion people after 4,500 years. That's a growth rate of 0.4%. Remember I said some of my models had 8% growth rate? Now it's ridiculous. Populations don't grow that fast, but they could, theoretically. But that is incredibly slow. And in fact, just about any model that has any growth at all, you can get this many people in those many years. So the human population size actually is a biblical human population size. If evolution was true and we existed for so many thousands of years before that, there should be trillions of people. Not that it's possible. Or someone should have invented farming earlier than that. Or another way to ask it is this. If 1 million people live for about 1 million years, where are the trillions of bodies?
That's a really good question.
They don't exist.
There's no bones down there.
Yeah, there are some ancient bones we found, great, but those are post-flood people. Right. There should be millions upon millions upon millions of cemeteries, old villages, and remains of people, and we don't find them. I believe it's because they didn't exist. Now, looking at the Adam and Eve story, we can make some predictions. First, if we only started with 2 people, all the people today should have a low genetic diversity. If we started with millions of people, you can have a lot of genes floating around in a population of millions strong. But if you only started with 2 people, that restricts the diversity today. If the Bible's correct and Adam really is our ancestor, there should only be one male ancestor of humanity. Now the mitochondrial DNA, the mtDNA, that's a little piece of DNA that's only inherited from your mother. All people get it from their mother. Well, that means we can build a family tree of all the females in the world, and there should only be one female ancestor of everyone on Earth today. If evolution is true, that shouldn't be true, and none of those have to be true. But also, most genes should come in 2 versions, because Eve was taken from Adam. She probably got Adam's genome, except for the Y chromosome. But Adam only has 2 copies of each gene, so you can only have 2 versions of each gene. Turns out, this is exactly what we have found in modern human genetics.
Huh. Wow.
I mean, what's the chance of the Bible being made up and the biblical story actually mirrors what we actually see in human genetics today?
That's amazing.
Totally amazing.
Absolutely.
We look at Noah's flood. Noah's flood tells all people should be closely related. It tells us there should only be a few mitochondrial DNA lines. That's Shem, Ham, and Japheth's wives.
Right.
And only one Y chromosome, because it's only Noah. His 3 sons would have inherited his Y chromosome. Any other Y chromosome diversity before the flood is gone. And we should have evidence of rapid population growth. We saw that a minute ago. Turns out that this is exactly what we find in modern genetics. This is the Noah's flood story also. And in the Tower of Babel account, we have discovered a single disperser of all people in the relatively recent past, traveling in small people groups into uninhabited territory through the Middle East. They call it the Out of Africa story. But these are all biblical predictions right here.
Single dispersal, all at one time, relatively recent past, traveling in small groups to uninhabited areas throughout the Middle East. That's exactly what happened.
Yes.
The only they think it's a little further south in Africa. You think it's a little further north.
The starting point is a little different.
Yeah.
The same pattern is predicted
exactly,
by both sides.
and they're totally agreeing with you on that.
Yes, except they want it here as far as the starting point goes.
Right.
But the Bible says this.
Yes.
Now, interestingly, I'm sure you've had people on your show talking about the biblical Ice Age.
Mm-hmm.
During that Ice Age, which was approximately the same time as the Tower of Babel, you could have walked from here to Ireland on dry ground.
Sure.
You could have walked to Tasmania.
Yeah.
And the only deep water part you have to cross is the place between these two little islands, Bali and Lombok, and you can see one island from the other. It's right there. It's not. And you could have walked all the way down to here on dry ground.
Huh.
At that one point in history, not any other point in history.
It all adds up.
But there.
Did you know that all of today's evil power elite and bankers come from the same exact lineage? Yeah, they all come from Cain's lineage. Whether they call it the serpent seed or they call it the royal bloodlines, all the same thing. Nimrod came from this lineage, and so did Mystery Babylon. And no, Mystery Babylon never went anywhere. It's actually closer than you think. The Jewish leaders demanded that Christ go on the cross. It was none other than the Romans who fulfilled the request. Now, not meaning to skip a lot, we get to the Knights Templar. These were the powerful banking people of the time. These were the people that spawned Rockefeller, J.P. Morgan, Rothschild. They came from the Knights Templar. And while the Knights Templar hid behind Christianity, they were the complete opposite. They would practice black magic, alchemy, and they summoned Baphomet on a daily basis. But the goat Baphomet that we know is not what appeared to them. It was this giant four-faced figure that would go in the middle of the room on the pentagram. So it'd be looking around at all of them with his four faces. So when the Knights Templar was forced to disband, what did they do? They changed the name. It was now the Jesuits. Both the Templars and the Jesuits was the Pope's Mafia. All roads lead to Rome. This isn't like the Italian Mafia. This is like some dark, evil takeover the world type stuff. Speaking of all roads lead to Rome, their sun god still stands in New York City. Might add that sun god is Lucifer. So we go Knights Templar to Jesuits to the Bavarian Illuminati. Bavarian Illuminati was forced to disband for trying to take over the world. They didn't just disappear. They did what they always do. They changed clothes. Freemasonry, the Order of the Eastern Star, Vril Society, these are all from the Bavarian Illuminati. Now, the Vril Society, I can't talk about it here, it was very prevalent in World War II. And there's a lot of alien UFO type stuff in that society. But we know there are no aliens, there are only fallen angels and demons. So looking at Freemasonry, they all seem to do the same thing. They hide behind Christianity. But let's check out one of their books. This book is called Morals and Dogma. It's written by revered 33rd degree Mason Albert Pike, which they all look up to. In the book right here, it plainly says Lucifer is their god, although we should not be surprised. Now, if you would ask a low-level Freemason about that, they would have no clue. Chances are they never picked up the book. No high-level Freemason's going to tell them that either. Just about almost all the Freemasons don't know anything about what's really going on behind their society. But 33rd degree plus, skull and bones, people like this is where we get the term Illuminati. It's the royal bloodlines and the serpent seed. It has been the same force of darkness working against us since the garden. It's not and never will be anything new under the sun. By the way,
So voltage in the body is very much like your checking account at the bank. The checking account at the bank is determined by how many deposits do you make and how many checks do you write. And so it is with the battery packs in the human body. So on one side, it's how many electrons are we putting in. And there are a lot of electron donors. Electron donors can be getting out in the sun. It can be walking barefoot in the grass. It can be leaning up your body up against a tree because the tree has electrons and will donate them to you. Hugging an animal. You know, a common way that makes people in nursing homes feel better is to buy them a dog or a cat. They hold the dog or the cat and get electrons from it. The animal runs outside and recharges itself and brings some back to you. Moving water is an electron donor, whereas still water tends to be an electron stealer. Moving air is an electron stealer. So that's why when you ride in a convertible, you look really cool, but you're always tired when you get there because the wind steals electrons from you. So on one hand, we look at what things can put electrons in the body, and then what things steal them. And again, the most common stealers are dental infections, emotional baggage, various toxins, particularly the toxins that we are getting from things like GMO foods, and pesticides and other kinds of things, air pollution. There's a lot of toxins around us. And of course, one can almost include in the concept emotional baggage. They're toxins in a different way, and that they rob us of voltage that we should be using for something else.
So what would you say if I told you you could literally make more?
Yahweh God, thank you for life, health, and strength, faith, hope, and love, and another day to bless, protect your most holy name. I surrender all, Yahweh God, and acknowledge that all things are spiritual before they are physical. For this reason, we also declare and decree that you are the maker, master, ruler, creator, and guider of our spiritual lives. We also acknowledge Jesus, Yeshua, and the blood he shed that gave us blood-paved pathways back to the holy of the holies. As we humbly come before your almighty throne of mercy and grace, we welcome your glory to rest heavenly upon our shoulders. Bless our crown with supernatural wisdom and understanding, Yahweh God, so that we may walk in the true knowledge of who you are and who you created us to be. Quiet our spiritual minds, Yahweh God. Slow us down and put us in proper alignment and divine timing with the will and purpose you have for our lives. Open our spiritual eyes, Yahweh God, so we may better see all of the divine things of the Spirit. Open our spiritual ears, Yahweh God, so we may better hear all of the sacred things of the Spirit. Guard our spiritual mouth, Yahweh God. Place a censor over our divine tongues, so we may only speak words that glorify and edify you. Soften our spiritual heart, Yahweh God, so we may walk into deeper communication, commitment, intimacy, understanding, and a relationship with all of the divine things of the Spirit. Yahweh God, we recognize that we do not battle against flesh and blood, but against spirits and powers, principalities and rulers of spiritual wickedness in heavenly places. It is for this reason that we put on the whole armor of God, Yahweh God. We put on the helmet of salvation and the breastplate of righteousness. We firmly attach the belt of truth around our waist and drench our feet with the preparation of the gospel of peace. We take our sword of life's spirit, which is the word of life, and the shield of faith with which we will quench all of the fiery darts of the enemy. Thank you for blessing us from the top of our head to the bottom of our feet and everywhere in between with the first, what we need, everything that we deserve, and then the best that you have for our lives, Yahweh God. In Jesus' name, amen.
I mean, we gotta look at the hospital. Just to detour a little bit. They'll have would you lay down to defecate? Like, if you had to use the bathroom and you get closer and closer to your house and you're like, man, it's starting to really come out. Would you then go to the toilet and lay down to try to make come out? No, you wouldn't. You would squat. That's kind of like what we do when we're on the toilet. But now here's a woman that's supposed to give birth to a child. In the medical institution, all these people with certificates are going to turn around and tell that woman to lay down to go against gravity and compromise the integrity of her spine, all right, and then want to induce labor, all right, and give her epidurals. And if the child's born inside of 30 to 45 minutes from the time of that shot, then the child comes out, their eyes closed, we thinking it's perfectly normal, the child is drugged up. That's crazy. But we go to Egypt, like I went to Egypt, and I went to the world's first hospital, Temple Philae, and you see all over the walls, the women squat and do not go against gravity. But they were the ones that's considered to be incompetent. But today in contemporary science, we got women still laying down. And even the placenta, because I delivered my daughters. I didn't cut the placenta when the baby came out. We let the afterbirth come out, and we let the placenta continuously contract so the rest of the stem cells could get to the child, which would diffuse the potentiality of the child actually getting sick, and it heightens that child's consciousness. Absolute fact, my daughter was 4 years old speaking 4 languages, Hotep Tumre. So, but we cut it the second the child was born. And if we were to go to the hospital right now and say, I would like to keep the afterbirth, they would give us hell. We would have to sign all sorts of applications and everything just to have entitlement to something that comes out of that woman's body. And with law, we see the word minority means that you're an adult that can't make decisions on your own. So you need someone to marry you. You need someone to send you to Allah or to God or to Jehovah or Yahweh Shai or Yeshua. You need somebody to bring you into this world because you can't do it yourself because you're too incompetent. So for that reason, in addition to the health implications, a child being in the womb of a mother for 9 months, darkness, then to be subject to lights that do not biologically embed. Sunlight grants us intelligence, and it communicates higher thoughts and frequency to us, which empowers the body to be able to facilitate in ways that is most conducive and progressive for the human body. But to bring a child out of darkness for 9 months, conception, and a woman has to go through 3 perfect ovulations for her to even be able to conceive. So 3 months inception, 9 months conception, 12 months totality. That child is born from darkness, subject to all these bright hospital lights. That's wicked. You know how you feel when you're in a dark house for a long period of time and then you go out and the sun is there? You get this headache. Imagine how the child feels when the child is born after being submerged in the darkness of the mother's womb, only to come out to these bright lights and to be held by someone that's not even the father, someone that contributed to the birth of the child, but to a stranger. And then this woman cannot keep her child long enough because then she got to go on maternity leave, so she got to go back to work, right? So that psychologically plagues that child because that child's not ready to let go of their mother, but she has to go back to work. So we have to work harder to get our women off the clock because 6 months is not enough time for someone that stayed in the womb for 9 months and 3 months of ovulation. Because when a woman is born, she's born with all the ovate cells she'll ever have. So when a woman is born, she's born with all the children she will potentially have. And she is a summation of all the stress incurred, all the damage and all the affliction that she may have had to endure. Our children are a summation of everything she experienced from the time she came into this world, which is why we teach that the black woman is God and we got to protect and honor her. And we don't mean it that she created.
Yo, so I want to touch on this real quick. So I was thinking about this, like, this is really good information, like, the power that we give the system, well, not that we want to give them, but how things have been set up for us and how, they have power over us because, people allowed it to exist. We should have the right to not want to put anything in our babies' bodies. Like, we could have a home birth, a water birth, natural, like how he said. You know what I mean? Like, the way that you want things to be done. Like a doctor, like if you want to go to the hospital, that's your choice. But if you wanted to stay home, if you didn't want to inject anything that these hospitals have, like that, you shouldn't have to do that. That it's like, you could get your child taken away. You know what I mean? People that, they don't even have no say over your kids. Like, as long as you're doing right by your child, there should be no reason or authority somebody could come and take away your kid from you. Another topic that I wanted to talk about is, same topic, but the placenta, how they cut the umbilical cord. I think that's really, really important. And I didn't even actually know that till right now. And that is very, very, very important. I think that is a very, very important thing to people that should know. And the stem cells and all that stuff. That sounds like something that is actually, like, it just makes sense. It clicked. It just makes sense to me. So I just, like, I really admire the people that are, like, putting in work and doing, the research and, like, kind of, like, understanding this kind of stuff, because these things that we are being controlled by is because of lack of information. Just because, like, my people die because of knowledge, for lack of knowledge. So, like, you know, people are dumb. They're not gonna want to like learn, or they're not gonna want to take the time to do it. Like people don't care, you know, and that's why I'm saying like not everybody, but I'm the one that wants the best for the future generation, for my family, for other people's family that can use their freaking brain and are guided by their hearts and their soul, and you know, that Christ gave them. But like, you know, I don't know where all these bodies are going, like how this dude was saying too, besides this important fact right here that we just watched. The bodies, like, where are all the bodies going? Is everybody being cremated? Shouldn't there be like hella cemeteries? Like, if we've been here for like I don't know how many years, like, where are all the freaking bodies at, bro? Like, seriously, think about it. And if there's like 7 billion people or however many people, like, how are they feeding so many people? Like, how are they feeding all these people? And where are they getting all this food from? Like, I think supposedly the people outnumber the actual food supply. You know, yeah, you can grow a lot of vegetables and stuff like that, but the meat, like the cows and all that stuff, you got to think about it. Like, how are they supplying all this stuff? Because it's not all just animal. I don't know what the fuck they're doing to the food. Like, honestly, they found human DNA in food and stuff like that, but you got to do your own research. But anyways, like, you guys already know what's up. Like, there's a system in place that is keeping us like in a bad situation, and the way that things are going, it's not good. So you have to take all this information that, you know, that they're offering right now on TikTok. Like, not saying that should be your only source, you know what I mean? But you ask the Holy Spirit to what to reveal to you. And, you know, and just, you know, just go by your discernment, like what you know, what speaks to you. But there's a lot of natural healing remedies, a lot of stuff on here that's not going to be accessible for too long. You know what I mean? There's people that don't care about information like this, but I want people to hear these things because I believe it's important for us to know. And you know, you guys could be doing the same thing. You know, like, I don't want to be the only one, you know, that gives a shit and is putting out information. Like, I want people to hear this stuff. I want to be able to tell people, and I want this to be ingrained into, you know, your knowledge and my knowledge, so that we can pass this information along generation to generation. This is a time where we have to step up, or else not only is all going to be lost, you know what I mean? Like some things can be lost, but it's all going to be lost if we don't step up. Like, all this information is going to be hidden. You know, people are going to be suppressed. They have this AI, you know, kill grid system, you know, in my opinion, a slow torture kill program that they have, and they're going to implement on anybody that they know that is collecting this type of information. But if there's too many people out there that are doing that, it's going to be hard to stop. You know what I mean? That's why they want to ban TikTok, and they don't want it. They already banned it in certain states. Like, they don't want people knowing all this information. And there's tons of it on here. So I suggest that you guys start to collect information yourself and, like, start looking up this stuff, because, like I said, it's important for the future and for ourselves to be able to share stuff and look out for each other. So that's all I wanted to say.
You sign a birth certificate. There's the balance of that contract is somewhere. Whenever you sign for a driver's license, the balance of that contract is somewhere. You don't have it. You've never seen it, but it does exist. And this is why they have the authority to issue you a ticket for all these different things and violations, because there's a contract somewhere that you signed, and you have not reserved your rights. So if you don't reserve your rights are considered waived upon signing of the contract, which means that you know, understand, and agree that there's an adhesion going on, and you don't care, or you otherwise are not aware. They don't care. They've got you to sign. How do you go back now and correct the fact that you signed all these adhesion contracts everywhere all your life? You signed them.
I know you have, because I have too. And now's the time for you to get back into your proper person so you can correct those contracts and get out of the ones you don't want to have, and the ones you choose to have, you can exist under your own terms and conditions. That's the most important part. That's long before you get to going to court. Because you can go to court all day long, but guess what? Unless you correct the problem, the root of the problem, which is not knowing how to exist in contracts, you'll constantly go to court, and that's a waste of your time. I'm sure you have many more productive things to do than to keep showing up in court, making special appearance in propria persona, sui juris, and stating your status for the record, okay? Now, the first thing you need to do is contact. Contact those entities with whom you have a contract and tell.
Okay, there's a lot to that, but yeah, I mean, you could change your status, and like there's different statuses you can file under, and like it's not really a sovereign citizen, but it's like a private citizen pretty much, and you're not under the same laws. Like, they can't write you tickets and stuff, and you have to do, it's just a process. But you guys, if you look into Black Laws Dictionary, this is something that I want to do. If I knew somebody that can do this, I would automatically be doing it. Like, I'd be already, researching it, knowing the ins and outs of it, and understand what I'm getting myself into. But, also, Tory Lanez, he got locked up, but he started selling these NFTs, and he got I guess he made a lot of money, and he's pretty much cutting out the person that, like, the record labels and the people in the middle that are making all the money off of these rappers, and he found a way and I guess that's the reason why he got locked up. They're trying to set him up, so he found the way to cut them out, and he's trying to show other people, and that's why supposedly he got locked up. Yeah, so I mean, even some of these rappers and some of these people, they're waking up. People are starting to use their influence and use their discernment and try to find ways around these, the system, how it's constructed. He found a way and beat him, and all of a sudden he gets locked up for it. This is this type of stuff. But see, that's the thing. The fact of the matter that he did it, that's it. He just paved the way. He made an option for people to follow the same exact method that he did. So I don't know if you guys want to look into it, but yeah, I mean, I don't really know exactly what he did, but like I said, look into it.
I can put a fucking bulletproof. Everyone should have a bottle of activated charcoal at home. It's cheap, and it's a wonderful thing to put into your stomach when you're feeling off and you don't know what it is. You ate something, or the bacteria, they're winning the battle against you or something. Take some activated charcoal, and it attracts anything that's harmful and poisonous to it, and you expel it. It is wonderful. If you think you had food poisoning, put 2 or 3 pills of activated charcoal and watch what happens. You'll feel...
2014, NSA finally gives me a document. The National Security Agency confirms that there is intelligence information from 2012, 4 years before Havana, associating the hostile country to which Mr. Beck traveled in the late 1990s with a high-powered microwave system weapon that may have the ability to weaken, intimidate, or kill an enemy over time and without leaving evidence. The 2012 intelligence information indicated that this weapon is designed to bathe a target's living quarters in microwaves, causing numerous physical effects, including a damaged nervous system. And this is the document that the U.S. government, the NSA, the CIA, and others need to respond to and say, what did you mean by 2014?
I don't know if anybody knows the document to this to that video, but I want to look it up. If anybody knows the name, if you could post it in the comments.
Interdimensional light parasites part. Co-op Interdimensional light parasites part 2.
Higher dimensional biology, transdimensional beings. And what I observe out of this point of view when I look at Morgellon disease, it looks like a higher dimensional being abusing humans to reproduce his own species. And before these pseudomorphic fruiting bodies leave the body, they extract enough biophotons from the forehead to ascend to a parallel dimension. And from then on, they're invisible. But they're still within the body. And this now is pure science. This is what we found in the lab. This is what can be explained with higher dimensional theories. But it also refers to mythology. If you have an invisible creature crawling through your body, trying to access your energetic system, this is very close to what one might call a demon or an archon. And if you look at the descriptions of these archons from 2,500 years ago, the description of the biology is identical with what these Morgellon victim was painting. They're described as spiders with human faces. And there are exactly two different species that are close relatives but different. And it is described that they live as light parasites. And this is basically what the entire black magic tradition is about. Being a black magician means to communicate with those archons and offering them access to your physical light system, feeding them with biophotons, feeding them with life force, and in exchange they offer power over other human beings. This is what black magic rituals are always about. So we're starting to get a picture. And if you look at the political entities who might be responsible to introduce Morgellons into the air, look into the United States, we have...
I've seen this video before, like him talking about this, but this part is like really interesting. And like, I feel like, I remember I've woken up and I felt like I was choking on something. I feel like there's like this freaking little insect or whatever, spider, like it'll be coming out of my throat and then I'll feel like it crawls back inside. Like as soon as I wake up, it knows and it goes back inside. I don't know if you guys ever experienced this, but I don't know. Like this is just me like guessing. I'm not sure exactly what it is. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if it's this. I never seen anything. I can't tell. But I do believe that like there's some shit like this out there and it's just a trip because like it would kind of make sense. Like, you know, these higher beings, these people, they know that these entities want us, or that can harvest our certain energy from us, because we emit more, positive energy that they can, leech off of us from. So that's the reason that they want us around too. Like they're not supposed to touch us, because, it's like a source for them of power. And you can use it in different ways. I don't know. You can block them in different ways. I'm not sure exactly how it works. I'm just throwing out some ideas, just some hypothesis, but definitely detox, like whatever we can to destroy these freaking purpose invaders in our body. I'm pretty sure there's like things that they talk about that can like detox from Morgellons and stuff like that, but there's a lot of remedies that we could take. So just look into it, find whatever helps, and freaking, yeah.
When my 84-year-old mother called me up and said, Paul, I have something very serious to talk to you about. She had a 5.5 centimeter diameter tumor. It metastasized. It went to her sternum. It went to her liver. She had stage 4 breast cancer. The doctor gave her less than 3 months to live. It stated
something about lion's mane. I don't know. I'm not giving you guys medical advice, but something about lion's mane.
it was the second worst case of breast cancer. You might want to try taking those.
Turkey tail mushrooms, actually, not lion's mane. Turkey tail mushrooms or something like that. I don't know exactly, but yeah, that's what he said that they used. Turkey tail mushrooms. So that's, like I said, it's not medical advice. This is just health stuff. But you heard what he said in the beginning, so it helped her, and the doctor actually, recommended her to try it. So, yeah, turkey tail mushroom, I think that's what it's called. I don't want to put on something, that has to talk about anything curing stuff, because, YouTube will take it down, so I'm trying not to talk about any words like that.
Watch the water. And what I'm going to do is fill up one of the glasses with tap water.
Alright, so one of them's tap water and one of them's regular water. I actually put in an order for one of these today, because I want to be able to test the water and the filtration system that I'm about to buy. Because I'm not going to shower with the water anymore. Like, I'm going to only shower with filtered water, and I already know exactly how to heat it up and whatnot. It's an easy process. But yeah, this is what's in our water. This is what you're showering with. This is what you're drinking if you're drinking tap water. So what the electrolyzer's doing is it's separating the metals, or it's pulling them out of the water. And so check it out.
Electrolyzer do. It separates all of the metals and anything's in it that it will, with an electric current, separate anything impure in it. Impure. So this is all the matter that you don't. And then here it says the colours. So on this side as well. Is it on this side? What colours? So it says yellow acids, fluoride and other organic matter. Green. What does it say? Arsenic, blue bacteria. Look, you can see the blue forming, people. So just bearing in mind that's next to the purified water. There's nothing happening, no reaction. And it's the same, it's all doing the same thing. But on the tap, there's a lot of strange things going on. Does it say black as well, what black is? It's bubbling on top. Yeah, that's the metals. Red, iron and rust and bacteria. It's just, go on the top, go over so you can see what's happening at the top. Go over the clear one. Yeah. Okay, let me turn it off and give it a stir. Okay. She's going to be getting hot, this one. Oh my God. Now, I would presume it's getting hot because of the metals. Yeah, heating up with the electric current. Guys, those are like literal chunks. Yeah. But that is all bacteria. And bacteria, it could even be graphene in there. If I got a magnet to it, If it follows the magnet, that could well be graphene oxide as well.
Oh my goodness.
Did you hear what she just said? I don't know. It's possible they could be putting graphene oxide. I'm not sure, they didn't test it, so I don't know. But dude, that would just make like total sense to me. Like, I mean, they're spraying the stuff, they're spraying heavy metals, they're spraying all kinds of stuff, and it's actually been tested and proven. So I don't know. Like, the government's even admitted to it. They put this information out there. And like I said on my other video, you can look up actual website where it shows you what they're spraying. It tells you what ongoing testing that they're doing. It literally tells you on there. So let me see if I can pull up the website real quick.
They don't want you to know this.
You guys want to know why Electro Miami on his channel says that the blue lights are scanning you? Well, I believe we found the proof. And it's off of a patent from Raytheon back in 2012. Stick around because I'm going to break it down. Shoutouts to Sucker as well here on TikTok. And shoutouts to you, Electro Miami, for not giving up and continuing to go out there and tackle these topics. Do you guys want to know what the blue lights are? I think we figured it out. The patent that we're going to be looking at is United States Patent Application Publication, System and Method for Biometric Identification using Ultraviolet UV Image Data. From Raytheon Company, Waltham, Massachusetts. Filed on March 31st of 2011. Background of disclosure. The ability to accurately identify people is becoming more and more important in today's world. The systems currently utilized today to detect and accurately identify individuals has been proven to be very limited and inadequate for use in addressing many of today's needs in the area of access control. For one, the current systems utilize sensor technologies that are inadequate for detecting and accurately identifying target individuals from a distance. For example, there is a growing need to be able to accurately and quickly identify individuals traveling through points of entry and exit, such as airports, border crossings, where the sensing is necessary, performed at a distance. Secondly, the types of information currently being sensed on a target individuals by today's systems do not allow for the detection at a distance. Remember this distance. Moving forward to the bottom. Furthermore, together with the limitations associated with distance, the systems currently in use today require controlled environmental conditions to operate successfully, such as a fingerprint, eye, or facial scanners. Many of the applications arising in today's complex world are calling for systems that can detect and accurately identify individuals from distances of more than 50 meters away, as well as in uncontrolled environmental conditions such as outside, cloudy, humid, windy types of conditions. The first database includes a plurality of identities, with each identity having at least one binary sequence representative of a skin area of the identity. The query module is operated to receive the query and validate the UV image data. The detection module is in communication with the query module and is operable to detect at least one skin area in a UV image data. The sequence module in communication with detection module is operable to form at least one target binary sequence corresponding with at least one skin area. The system in one embodiment is present, and disclosure may further compromise a second database comprised of a plurality of skin areas, with each having a polygonal shape assigned. Polygonal shape they're looking for with this type of skin area, tag, mark, etc. Second database facilitates creating at least one target binary sequence for the detected skin areas by way of providing polygonal shapes
for use in framing the skin areas to enable conversions to 2-bit codes. The second database and one embodiment of the present disclosure is preferably suitable to facilitate being accessed by a sequence module for searching for and retrieving a polygonal shape, their form, that is associated with an area tag corresponding to an area of skin on an individual. The second database and one embodiment may be comprised of a plurality of area tags, of each of which corresponds to a particular area of an individual. Each area tag has a polygonal shape associated with it and is configured to facilitate forming an outline of that particular area on the individual. In geometry, a polygon is a plane figure that is described by a finite number of straight segments connected to a form, a closed polygonal chain. The bounded plane region, the bounding circuit, or the two together may be called a polygon. The segments of a polygonal circuit are called its edges or sides, which includes a triangle. I'm going to play this through and then break it down. Everything is very fast when it comes to this trailer. You have to break it down frame by frame. RFID comes up onto the screen. RFID chip, radio frequency chip. Then it morphs into a barcode. So they're clearly telling you a barcode. Then it morphs into a polygon, which is a triangle. Lines are drawn. It takes 3 lines for a polygon-shaped triangle. But it's fast. I slowed it down to 1/10. So the kid goes in for this mark, and then she waves some type of UV wand over it. Then at the checkout, it is a barcode reader. So clearly here what's being shown is an ultraviolet light picking up some sort of signal, putting it onto the screen in a sine wave format, and then all the way down to going to a cash register to have it be read by an old school light emitting diode LED type reader. These lights have communication antennas on top of them, and I highly doubt they're going to be used for Verizon, Comcast, AT&T, or any of the telecom companies. It's going to be proprietary to repeat this information that it scans back to a central hub. Make sure you guys are checking out our friends Electro Miami and Sucka over here on TikTok. They're out here.
You guys already know the system. It is what it is.
2014.
Pixel magic. Not magic. Finally, somebody took a video.
Anyways, this video is gonna be too long to update. I just went to the home page, so that's what showed up. You know what I mean? These ratchets. But yeah, dude, there's so much information out there, man. It's like I was watching these videos and I was like, man, I gotta do a video like this. You know, people need to know this stuff. Like they need to, prepare. I wouldn't know how to give you guys a financial advice because I don't really know, but like a lot of people are making money on Bitcoin and stuff like that. I would say to invest in gold if you guys haven't already. Obviously we can depend on the US to have our backs when this economy crashes. So look into things that are going to help you to survive, if it does crash. And I don't know, there's gonna be like a recession and stuff like that. So we're gonna need to have each other's backs and try to help each other out in any way we can. By what, even if it's just information or whatever. If you guys want to put your input on this video, but yeah, I mean these things that we're noticing, that we're taking into account. Little by little, we're getting smarter and smarter every day. The more that we inform ourselves, like just like giving birth and stuff like that, like all this stuff is very important, because now it's like something that I will practice in the future. Like I'm gonna make sure that if I ever had a kid or whatever, that I'm taking the right steps to ensure that they're properly brought up and brought into this world. So, yeah, man, like you guys, download TikToks, send me some videos. You guys have my number on my profile. Send me some good information. Also on what's it called, on Rumble, or we also have a chat group on Telegram, where there's a bunch of TIs posting stuff and just sharing information. So if you guys want to join that, you can post a bunch of videos here on this this chat group here. Targeted individuals, global public, and here's I don't know if you can. Okay, yeah, here's the scanning the QR code if you guys want to screenshot that. And then for the last but not least, this is the website to check out any geoengineering that they're doing, the spraying, the chemtrails and whatnot. They tell you all, what's going on. So it's geoengineeringmonitor.org. Check that out. I'm giving you guys straight info. So I hope you guys find this video helpful. And send me some information. Whatever you guys have, send my way. I appreciate you guys. Stay strong and never give up.